Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Tracy's Tuesday Talks. I am your hostess, Tracy Latona of Golden Rose Financial Coaching, where I guide people who are growth minded, that are stressed or anxious about finances, to conquering their money goals and breaking those money habit cycles that are holding them back. This week, I wanted to touch base on a method that I use with a lot of my clients that are budgeting, but are still kind of dealing with some money stress, or there's a little bit of confusion on how to execute the budget. So, just to recap, a budget is a mission for your money, where you are creating a mission for every single dollar, giving it an assignment, whether it goes towards food, gas, groceries, mortgage, rent, whatever that looks like, before the beginning of the month. So that way you have a plan for your money, a budget, and you're tracking your expenses throughout the month to make sure that your money is doing exactly what you told it to do. What a lot of people who come to me start with is a spending plan where they know exactly what their bills are, how much they're getting paid, they pay those bills, and then whatever is left over is a free for all for gas, groceries, entertainment, savings, paying off extra debt on debt, whatever that might look like. That's a spending plan. That's what Congress does. Please don't be like Congress. I know I've made that joke before. It never gets old for me, but hopefully you get the point. So, what happens with a lot of people, even when they create a budget for the entire month, is when it comes to creating a working budget when they have multiple paychecks through the month. So, if you have a budget for the whole month, that's awesome. Not a whole lot of people get paid all of their income one day per month. Some do. Most people get paid every other week or every week or so. So, how do you break that down and make it workable when you have a plan for the whole month, but you have more than one paycheck per month? What a lot of people run into is they might have a budget that works well and it's zeroed out, meaning their income minus their expenses equals zero. Not that their bank account goes to zero, but that every dollar has a mission. But what happens is they'll give themselves like $1,000 as an example for groceries for the month. And they're like, woohoo, awesome, I have $1,000 for groceries. Not thinking that that's supposed to be spread out over several pay periods. What happens a lot is people will get paid on the first or their first paycheck for the month, and their rent's due, their insurance is due, maybe some utilities are due, and they go out and make a huge giant grocery trip. So what happens is they spend their paycheck in like 3 days and they feel broke, and then they're confused. They're like, but my budget said I could do this. What's going on here? So I want to introduce to you a column method. First, I also want to share with you a tool that I use with every single one of my clients on their first session, called the Quick Start Budget Guide from Ramsey Solutions. It came from their old Financial Peace University kits. It's not my property. It is Ramsey Solutions property. And from there, how to use that budget to break that down to be able to make your budget workable and feasible, so that way you still don't run into money stress even when you have a budget. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys and show you. This is the Quick Start Budget Guide. Give me just one moment to pull this up. And by the way, this is from a slideshow from a workshop that I have created for veterans. So if you have need for financial literacy workshops or speaking engagements, I am available for that. So this is the Quick Start Budget Guide that I was sharing with. So up here at the top, what you want to do is you want to basically write in your monthly take-home pay. So that's after benefits, after taxes, after everything is taken out. What do you have to work with for the month? And then from here, what you're going to do is you are going to fill in each line item that is applicable to you. The ones that aren't, you would just skip. And down here at the bottom, there are little bubbles that you just fill in for each category. So transportation's a category, clothing's a category, and each little line in here is called the line item. This is good because it's going to help with the math later when we're adding everything up. And it'll also give you an idea of like, oh my gosh, our utilities are $1,000 a month. That's crazy. Then you'll know that's a category that you can look at to trim back if needed. I love this budget guide because it is so comprehensive. Guilty as charged. A lot of people tend to forget. I have cats and I need to buy cat litter, and that's like $20 a box. And if you don't budget for that, it's like, oh, there goes our grocery budget. Or, hey, I want to get my hair and my nails done this month. Oh, I forgot to budget for that. So I love how comprehensive this is. It's not all encompassing clearly, but it digs into a lot of categories that a lot of apps tend to not have right off the bat. So once you go through and you fill all this out, filling out your minimum payments, not that you're throwing extra at your budgets. You want to use the debt snowball? Feel free to take a look at that video that I have posted on how to use that. You want to do your income minus your expenses and work your budget until it gets down to zero. So if that means that you have extra in your budget, woohoo, celebrate. You get to decide what you want to do with that. You get to decide, do you want to put it towards next month if you know that next month is going to have a lot of expenses? Do you want to put it towards that starter $1,000 emergency fund? Or do you want to use it to pay off some debt and throw it at that smallest debt? From here, once you have your whole monthly budgets, you can use things like a budgeting app, an Excel spreadsheet, pen and paper to track your expenses. What the next step is breaking it down into what I like to call the column method. So you're going to get a piece of paper or an Excel spreadsheet, and you are going to have columns or pages, as some clients like to call it, of what your paycheck period is. So like the military gets paid on the 1st and the 15th. So that's their pay period. So, or you might get paid on like the 7th and the 21st. Whatever those pay periods are, make sure that you have like that 2-week or that period that that paycheck has to cover in one section. So, oh, and by the way, if you get paid towards the end of the month, like on the 28th, 29th, 30th, and all your bills are paid, you're going to use that money and roll it over to cover the bills in the next month. So I hate to burst your bubble, but those 3 paycheck months don't really actually work like 3 paycheck months. You don't get a free paycheck in there because usually you get paid on like the last day of the month. That covers your first pay period of bills in the next month. So once you have that section of pay period out, or a column of like the 1st or the 15th, for example, you're going to do your income up at the top. And then you're going to write down what your solid bills are. Solid bills are those that have solid payments, like your rent, your utilities, your credit card bills, whatever that might be, with a solid due date. You're going to put those in first, and then you're going to put your flexible line items, those that don't have solid amounts that are due or have solid dates, like your groceries, gas, entertainment, when you move money over into savings, fund money, that kind of thing. That's going to come after your solid bills. So your first pay period, you might not have a whole lot to go to the grocery store with, because if your rent, utilities, car payment, all that's due out of that first paycheck, there's not going to be a whole lot. This column method will tell you how much money you get to go to the grocery store with and not go in the hole. The next column you break down, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to do your income minus your solid expenses. So what's your payments? What are the ones that have solid amounts due? And then from there, you might have more money for food. You might have more money for fun money. You might be able to be like, this is where we're going to be able to put that money into the emergency fund. So this breaks down your paycheck further by pay period to make that whole month plan actually work. All right, guys, if you are frustrated or stressed about finances or have anxiety, confusion, or maybe you and your spouse just aren't on the same page with finances, give me a direct message or get connected with me. I would love to do a complimentary coaching session with you, see where you are, see where you want to be, and help you get there. So I hope this was helpful. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel and share this information on your social media to help people work towards financial freedom. Thanks so much, guys. Have a blessed day.